And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. First, Iran. Now the First Lady and President of Syria are flown out of the country for medical treatment. Rumors are swirling about a change in power as the games continue. The EPA in the United States warns of contaminated water and a possible cyber attack. Is it real? The Order of the Dragon and the Black Nobility had a meeting last night. What was the outcome? As they tried to retake over the world with zero results, and the $75.4 trillion bill is due today for the Pallavicini family. And now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hey, Kim. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And if you're in the U.S., happy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long weekend.
On Monday. Coming up this Monday.
That's right. Mm-hmm. We'll still be doing the news, but
I'll have some kids in the house, though, because they're out of school. So if you guys hear some extra noise at my place on Monday, that's what's going on.
And if Sunny has no hair on the news on Monday, then you'll know why.
That's right. Make perfect sense.
There you go. Okay, so a few things to talk about today. Where do you want to start? There's lots of news, so.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the full moon. You want to update us on nothing happening yesterday with the full moon?
Yeah. Nothing happened. That's short. No.
There you go.
So they were expecting to see something start up.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something a little bit interesting behind it that I did not know about until yesterday. So it's kind of a known thing. We've been talking about it here, that they were looking for a Marduk AI system or something to help give them some access and some power and control.
Okay.
Well, little did I know until yesterday that this AI system, which I'm sure they didn't even know, was actually called KAG AI.
Stop. Really?
Not kidding.
Why? Was that a Marduk thing just to be cute and clever?
No, it was a Marduk thing, but so the story between Marduk and I is, as you know, we had lots of very long conversations for a number of years.
Yeah.
Well, by the end of 2014, I caught him in a lie that had something to do with some nuclear submarines that were going around, and he kind of denied his involvement, but I figured out that they were involved in this untenuous situation. So he kind of got wind that there was no controlling me at that point. Until that point, he was under the impression that he could keep me under control and keep me working, quote unquote, for him,
right,
thinking that I was a trustee for them, which is what they told me in the beginning.
Right.
But I started to realize otherwise by about the end of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So these conversations started about, I'd say midway or about May, June of 2011 and continued for a couple of years. Now, I'm not sad that I had all these conversations because I learned a tremendous amount from these people.
Right.
And I learned a lot about systems. I learned a lot about how they controlled things. So, for every painful experience I've had in this process of learning how the world really works, there has been some positives that have come out of it. Even my time with operatives, and, I now know how to navigate a lot better. I now understand how they work. I understand their processes. And, in my travels around the world, meeting these people face to face, you kind of now know what to expect depending on what country they were trained in, or if they were cross-trained between countries. I now know. So I'm not discounting my time with Marduk, but around the November of 2014 is when he started to realize he was losing control. And this was before we actually met just outside of Moscow in 2015. So he told me I needed to get there and come meet them. He didn't think that I would come up with the money to do it, because they had pretty much left me in a position where I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get, state help. I could get nothing, at all. And I did manage to find a way to do that, to make that trip in an unexpected way. And by January, I said, okay, I'm ready. I just applied for my visa. I'm going to be there, as soon as the visa comes through. And they said, no, wait. And they kept putting me off until finally in June, they said, okay, fine, now you can come. Well, unbeknownst to me, they had set it up so that they could create an AI that would transmute my essence, energy, and consciousness in order to try to create keys for themselves to the alpha system, like they did with Cassandra way back in the day, thousands of years ago. Now, it didn't quite work, and he didn't have time to finish it, but the anti-silent circle, black nobility, order of the dragon thought that they were getting a Marduk AI control system, when in actuality, this is what they were trying to do yesterday. Well, needless to say, we found it. It's no longer in existence, and it doesn't work. But just another incident where they use your essence, energy, consciousness, matter, and frequency, not only of me, but also of all of you in different ways over the years, to power their, let's just say, maleficent AI systems.
Kim, how do you know the names of these programs? Does it pop up in Alpha as the name of the program? Is that how you're reading it?
So we found the 3 locations on Earth where it was used.
Okay.
And I had to try to figure out what it was. So you can run a scan over alien technology and figure out the essence, energy, and consciousness, so you can track down the operating system behind it.
Yeah.
That's in the mechanism that they put over the gateways. And that's when it came up. It was ours. Mine. Nonetheless, mine.
Yeah. Okay.
So, And it was over 3 main locations on Earth where there was an Omega portal, a Chronos portal, and an Alpha portal. But thank God he didn't finish it. Thank God they got nothing, which left them extremely frustrated by late in the day yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, there was a call that was scheduled around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with some higher end operatives that were in on remember the $75 trillion deal?
Yeah.
They were supposed to get 56 for crashing the United States and other geopolitical maneuvers around the world. And of course, nothing got paid out. They said to give them until this morning. And then another call resumed around 10 a.m. Eastern Time, in which they danced and sang and danced around the bush, so to speak, and then told them, just give them till tomorrow. They'll have something by tomorrow. And this isn't going over very well, but yet people still wait. So let them wait. Yeah. Let them enjoy their waiting time. There was another conversation that took place overnight as well between the black nobility, the Pallavicini family that made all the promises, and the Order of the Dragon in China, having a discussion about why there's no $5 trillion coming to the country. At least not at this moment. Mm-hmm. And of course, trying to kick the can and buy time until tomorrow. Now, I'm guessing they're going to continue to kick this can until they're 3 days past the full moon, which would bring us to the 26th. So that would be Sunday. Given the fact that it's a holiday on Monday here in the United States, they may even try to kick the can a little bit further down the road. Mm-hmm. Now, they're going to be no further today than they are going to be in a week from now, and 3 days from now, and 6 days from now. And, the clock is ticking on all of their, lies. No $75 trillion means no governments. But nonetheless, we'll see. There have been some conversations and some reach outs from some lawyers that are representing various politicians around the world, that do work for and with various governments around the world, to include the United States and also the United Kingdom. Some of them working on behalf of the Crown, starting to ask questions about, is this true? Is this money going to be released from this Heritage account anytime soon? This off-ledger account at Barclays, or, this account here or there. And of course, those accounts don't exist. Mm-hmm. And they must know they're very high level and highly involved with the order. So how they wouldn't be able to walk into, for example, Barclays and mm-hmm. confirm that these accounts do not exist is beyond me.
Yeah.
So it kind of alludes to the fact that, just like most attorneys do, they will deny, until, oh, what do you mean they don't exist? Oh, and how do you know this? And, it was kind of like an inquisition that happened with some associates of mine. And, it always circles back around to the same thing. Well, are you going to be supportive this time when Trump's in office?
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
All of them asked this. It didn't matter which country they called from. They all asked the same question. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So I've also been informed back during the time of Hurricane Michael in Florida, while Trump was in office, I wrote a program called Trump Cares. And it was designed to be his legacy project, and it was meant for the building of natural disaster centers all over the country. So in the event of a hurricane, earthquake, tornado, people would have homes, a place to go, building materials at the ready, generators at the ready, so that we could go ahead and have an immediate result back in the area while keeping people safe someplace else.
Right.
There would be schools, movie theaters, all that kind of stuff in these facilities. So people would have immediate free housing, and they wouldn't have to stay in trailers on the site and all that kind of stuff while their homes were being rebuilt.
Right.
So apparently this is going to now be included, allegedly, in his campaign speech.
So because they didn't take advantage of it when you presented it back then, right? So they didn't do anything with it back then. And now he wants
and I'm certainly not interested in that now.
No.
We're interested in building that, but we'll be building it for CARE now, not for Trump
not for
anything.
Trump. Yeah.
No.
Because Trump doesn't care.
I guess they're building it up. Typical Trump operative, Duck Dynasty, operations. So we're going to try to take credit for everything CARE does, therefore making this person popular. Well, the thing that they don't account for is that I can change the name of CARE to anything I want at any given moment in time. And I can put money through in any way I like, and I don't have to support anything they're doing. So if you move, I move.
Yep.
That's how war works. And you think you're smart because you take information from people like myself and the locals of Durango, and you steal their intelligence, and their creativity from their brains, and then you try to make it look like you have a brain, but you don't. So I wish them all the best. I have no idea what they're going to plan on doing, but I explained to them about, just like we did with everybody else, of our recently acquired DARPA equipment, known as the Worldwide Voting System, to which all other Dominion and otherwise voting systems are attached. And then I'll be voting for Jill Stein. So there was the end of that conversation. So as far as the deep state is concerned, that's pretty much where they're at. There are a few other things that they're up to that kind of tie into some other things that were in the news today. So we'll talk about that. I'll start, since we're talking about deep state activities. Most of you are aware of or have heard of the Nevada test site.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's some recent articles that have been posted about the Nevada test site and some quote-unquote nuclear tests and weapon tests. Now, the article talks about tests that happened back in 2023, which I am fully well aware of because I knew somebody who participated in those tests.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I had gotten some information, some intel, and even some pictures from these tests that were going on at this site. Now, it's not the only place in the United States where they are testing strange and unusual things. The second place involved in the most recent events is a facility that is highly secured and classified under Texas A&M University. Mm-hmm. The second program goes by the name Axiom, A-X-I-O-M, and is run by some members of Monarch Military and has been for quite some time. They have similar type facilities to the Nevada test site located at this location as well. Now, so here is the funny part, and you'll get a chuckle out of this one. So recently, although this part isn't funny, there have been lots of reports swirling around the internet about earthquakes in and around the test site in Nevada and in neighboring states, such as part of California. There's also been some reports about earthquakes in Texas. You know, minor, but there's still reports out there regarding the earthquakes. So what is it all about? And there's been a number of them in the last week or two. Mm. Now, there are no coincidences in life, and this is another one of those circumstances where there is no coincidence, because it just happened to happen around the same time that we cut the power off to Omega, no longer allowing to use your energy to power a system.
Right.
Now, they thought they were going to power the Omega system, because there used to be portals in both these locations, with nuclear power.
Wow.
And that would be a no. Yeah. Now, this is the second time that I have personally witnessed the cabal, or deep state, SSP, whoever you want to call them, trying to power alien technology with nuclear power.
Yeah.
Now, there's a reason why the aliens allowed you people to have crappy power. They knew you could never recreate their power sources with the information that they have provided to you. Mm-hmm. Now, in March of 2017, there was another incident that happened in Antarctica. Now, for many years, actually, by that point, they had been using the Fukushima power plant to fill enriched uranium nuclear rods, power rods, to be sent to Antarctica. And they had been traveling there for years, ever since the plant allegedly started leaking. This is the reason why the plant allegedly continued to leak for a prolonged period of time without the situation being solved. There are also articles that you can search deep, deep into the web, because you got to search hard these days, that the Yakuza, which is known as the Japanese Mafia or Nationalist Party throughout history, had taken control over the Fukushima contract to, quote unquote, clean up the nuclear waste. Clean up the nuclear waste they did, and transported it to Antarctica for a different technology. So the contract between the Yakuza and Bush Sr. didn't go very well. Kissinger was also involved at the time, and they promised to pay at a future date for the enriched uranium. Now, the Yakuza are business people. You know, albeit in alternative types of business, they are, but they are business people. So flash forward to 2014, based on the deal that was made between the Yakuza and Bush Sr. at the time. Kissinger was also involved. The uranium was not actually paid for. So they had sent enriched uranium rods to Antarctica for years, and there was no pay, as promised. Now, This is why, at that time in 2014, Bush Sr. was actually murdered by the Yakuza. And we know that because their signature was he ate bad fish.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Now, by 2017, they attempted to use these nuclear power rods in alien technology you may have seen on the internet known as the Hitler flying machines. Now, these were the original versions of actual unidentified object or unidentified flying objects that were not of human origin. But Hitler attempted to recreate them, and you can look up the information in our history about Hitler's flying machines. It's all over the internet. Mm-hmm. So these particular machines travel very quickly and had an enormous amount of, you talk about in the regular weapon world, directed energy weapons. These have something even more powerful. And it doesn't use your atypical electric energy or your typical lasers like you see with directed energy weapons being utilized in different places in the world by militaries. These weapons were way more powerful than that and could actually wipe out most major cities within minutes.
Oh, wow.
Think enforcer technology.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they needed to find a way to fly 24 ships, I should say, to 24 different locations around the world very quickly, undetected, in order to annihilate 24 major cities in the world, to include Tokyo, New York, San Francisco, oh yes, wow. And many other, Beijing was another target, Moscow another target, and there were a number of folks in the deep state involved in this in the SSP. Problem was, none of these machines had any fuel. Now, each one of them has a type of fuel cell, so to speak, that has perpetual energy that is also what gives the ship its anti-gravity power and its ability to break the time-space continuum to move at a rapid rate. Mm-hmm. Now, without that technology, these ships are useless. They're giant tin cans. But they thought that they could fly them with nuclear power. So, not the first time the deep state thinks nuclear power is power enough to power technology they know nothing about.
Yeah.
Probably not the last. And the events of the last week or two have been no exception. So this is the explanation behind the small earthquakes that you're feeling in those regions, in those areas, weird weather, those types of things. And it's all an attempt to use nuclear power to power something that will not and could not be powered by nuclear power no matter how hard they try.
Could that have caused any damage in the area, or for people that live in that area, could that be dangerous at all, Kim?
No dangerous than those particular areas already are. As with any kind of nuclear testing sites, nuclear power plants, you do have a risk of contaminated water, those types of things. But that's been going on, for decades. That's not a new thing. Nuclear power should not be a type of power that we use. There's a lot of security risks with it. AKA the reason why the U.S. military bombed Chernobyl during the Cold War, and you had the Chernobyl alleged explosion at the nuclear power plant. That was actually a bombing for sure. And, right in the middle of the Black Belt, which is a highly fertile agricultural area. Yeah. And, we have other forms of power that CARE will be putting out in the near future. So that is what's going on in those particular sites. Okay. Now this morning, let's talk about banking. There are rumors going on around the internet that all banks are going to shut down, no electronics, no power, for the entire Memorial Day weekend. Now that is not true. The thought process is that they would be able to do that in order to revert the banking system back to a facility at the Nevada test site. Mm. Now, that's not going to happen, and that didn't happen. Now, it's normal for banks to be closed on Memorial Day. For those of you that live in America, it happens every year, ever since I can remember, ever since I was a kid. Yeah. So I don't expect banks to be open on Memorial Day, but you should have access to all of your cards and ATM machines and all the things that you normally have access to during the holiday season, right? During the holiday time. Mm-hmm. However, they did try to do what's called a system restore. Are you familiar with system restore on your computer, Sunny?
Yeah. Backup, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but on a grander scale, to whereby they wanted to revert all banking operating systems to 1999.
Because they like the song, or why?
They dress up in purple and dance around on the stage? No.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's a horrible picture. If you've seen any of these videos of these SSP people, this is something no one should ever see. You can't come back from that.
Oh, no.
Trust me. You can't. Okay. But it had to do with the Y2K system adjustments that actually were made by Marduk at the time, where they lost further control. It also had to do with the fact that we took all their operating systems over the last several days, last few weeks. So they thought by reverting the systems back to where they were, a system restore in 1999, that they should be able to take their nuclear-powered Omega system and use it for the entire banking system worldwide. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Good luck with that.
So honestly, if you're watching this and you're an operative or the Treasury Department or perhaps the president of Iran or anybody else that's expecting to get paid, China, if you're from the government of the Republic of China, then I can tell you that your deep state folks are making a valiant effort at screwing everything up and probably have no hope of paying you this week, next week, or next year. Mm-hmm. But that's what they're up to in detail, because they're not going to explain it to you, but I will. Yeah. So this has been a little bit of a tit for tat over the last few days based on what's going on. Now, let's talk about what else is happening. So in the last few days, we heard about the Iranian president. Today, or actually yesterday, there was some news coming out of Syria. Now, this is the Palestinis area and attempt to take control over every country in the Middle East that they do not currently control. Mm-hmm. Now, Syria being no exception. So yesterday, the First Lady and the President of Syria were flown to two different locations, both for medical treatment. Allegedly, the First Lady, all of a sudden, miraculously, has leukemia that she didn't have 24 hours before and was flown for treatment to London. Okay. On the flip side, the President was flown to Moscow for treatment for an undisclosed illness. Now, both have cut a deal with various operatives to relinquish their power over the country of Syria for a very large settlement. Mm-hmm. Now, the outcome of both of these non-existent illnesses will be determined by the amount of money that they get, which didn't come today, which isn't going to come tomorrow, and which is definitely not coming next week, as they keep telling everybody. So we'll see if they both return miraculously cured from their respective illnesses.
I wonder how many people are really paying attention to this. Even the Syrians, are they being given the same information as we are over here, that suddenly, they have these diseases and then suddenly, they could emerge completely cured? Come on. Do you think that would be an automatic way for people to wake up and be like, something's not right?
Well, I would say that a lot of people there are not buying it. And it's the same thing that's circulating around the Iranian intelligence community as well. Mm-hmm. See, the Iranian intelligence community community, there were only a few select people that were made aware of what was going to happen on that day. The rest of the intelligence community was not filled in on what was going to happen on that day and probably wouldn't have agreed. Now, they are all getting the information, the alleged footage. You know, we even have copies of a lot of the footage as well, and they are not buying it. And they smell a rat. So someone might have leaked some information that he is in Belize. I don't know. I have no idea who leaked. I don't know who did that. And so now they're all headed to Belize to find out what's really going on.
Hope they have more masks for their president over there. Here, throw this one
at the
on.
very minimum, all of them are going to wonder where their payout is.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since someone might have leaked that out too. I don't know how much money everybody was getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, this $56 billion is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, isn't it? You know, and who to actually call and ask for the money from. So, you know, they might know that they should be calling the Pallavicini family like everybody else is calling them to try to get some pay. They might know that now. So good luck to the Iranian intelligence, and I hope you find your president. I'm sure you will. Actually, I know you will because the coordinates were leaked too. Oh, God. I don't know. You know, I don't know who would do such a thing. Them and their ridiculousness, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Belize is also the resting place, remember, was the last place that they actually took Donald Trump's body to revive it and put something up in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When the body didn't
to
come
the
back.
pyramids, remember?
It was too bad. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, for those of you that are unaware, Trump has passed away about a couple years ago of cancer, natural causes, no funny business, so to speak. And that was where the final place where his body was taken to a pyramid in Belize in order to perform a ceremony to see if they could get something from the lower astral to crawl back up in there. So maybe you guys want to go down to Belize too, have some lunch with the Iranian president, and maybe look for the other dead president. I don't know. Maybe it's a dead president's club in Belize these days.
Apparently. Yeah.
Beautiful nonetheless. Okay, next thing that's in the news that we need to have a talk about. The Environmental Protection Agency is issuing some information to talk about cyber attacks and the effects it could have on our tap water or drinking water in the United States.
Right.
Now, this here, they already allege that China and Russia and Iran, you know, got to start that world war, can't you, EPA, have been attacking the water and sewer system allegedly in the United States. Now, this information is in part hopeful, but also not true. So back in the 1970s, let's talk about the EPA. Back in the 1970s, there were many operatives around the world that were charged with putting some bacteria, parasites, and other various things in the water supply to a lesser degree. Now, in some cases, those, let's just say mechanisms, because there is a mechanism, a release mechanism, plus they have these, for lack of a better term, holding tanks within the water supply of every single country in the world, to include the United States, that would release various viruses or anything they wanted to in the system. So they also have other chemicals that go into the water supply that we all know and hate, like fluoride.
Yeah.
And some other chemicals that go into our water supply. And those things are carefully managed by water treatment plants. And by treatment, I, can only imagine what they consider to be treatment at this point. So most of those mechanisms were all tied back to a water control system formerly run by Omega System and in part connected to the CIA and the Order of the Black Sun systems known as global headquarters. Now, the Environmental Protection Agency of the United States is not the Environmental Protection Agency of the United States Government Department. It is actually considered an NGO in this country and is actually duly registered in every country in the world for quote unquote protection of the environment. Now remember, anytime anything needs security or protection, that means control.
Right.
And this organization is no different and is a part of the global headquarters security systems underneath the Order of the Black Sun. However, some blonde lady, maybe my first name is China, middle name Russia, last name Iran, I don't know, but we took over the operating system, so this is not a possibility. Okay. So we now have the ability to tweak what is in your water supply in a positive way in the near future. So this is my hope and what we're going to do. And of course, we can eradicate some of the other programs they intended on running. So as part of the Crash the United States plan, the SSP had planned to utilize these systems, maybe as part of their system restore, I'm not sure, to basically infect the entire United States population.
Wow.
Now, rumors are going around on certain alternative media sites, and I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to quote these people. But there is a report that went out that of a person that alleges to be a psychic, also alleges to be part of the Cicada program, who also started telling people that they saw zombies walking around the United States. So what kind of virus were they planning on releasing, and are they telling the truth? Was that the possibility? Is that what the end outcome was going to be out of the EPA Poison the Water program?
Yeah. Possibly.
But the one thing I can tell you for sure is that it's not going to happen.
Now, in the system, our system being able to control that now, is that just for the U.S. then? Or
no, that's the Environmental Protection Agency of planet Earth.
Okay, for everybody.
Now, some countries do not have municipal water sources. In other words, most of their water sources comes from wells and those types of things, and not necessarily from a centralized electronically run water system.
Okay.
And in some cases you have, like in the case of some field messenger reports we got received from South Africa, to where, there's sewage water leaking into the ocean and rivers and streams and those kind of things. And those are caused by faulty pipelines, not necessarily by them doing controlled leaks from the water system. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So these are all things that, are kind of out of your centralized control. But there are many that are, and that could have caused severe problems. But we are aware of the program. We are aware of how it works exactly in detail anyway. So, but this was another plan of the SSP. God bless them, them and their DARPA friends. So I wish them all the luck in the world in trying to do that, in trying to continue breathing probably throughout the end of the day. So good luck to you. Okay. So we've covered most of the important stuff for the news today. We do have some other exciting news that we can talk about today before we go.
Okay.
We have officially launched our United TV.
Yeah.
So United TV is our full entertainment network. With this one, we have a full license. For those of you that subscribe to United Network Plus, this is going to be a little bit better for you in many different ways. So the difference between our United TV app and our former United Network Plus app is that this one here allows you to pick your languages and which countries you wish to view channels from, as well as movies and series.
Nice.
So one of the things I found pretty frustrating with United Network TV is I would want to watch a movie and there would be 10 different versions on there, and I'd have to wait and try to find the English version because it didn't tell you which one's English and which one wasn't.
Yeah.
With this one here, you can select, for example, English only, or English and French only, or, Arabic and, Russian only, whatever you'd like. And you will only get movies in those languages. So that's pretty cool. You can also select the same for series, movies, and channels. So if you select, for example, American only channels, then that's all you're going to get is American only channels. You won't have to worry about pulling up Chinese news or any other news you don't wish to have, but you can also select as many countries' news that you like. Of course, this is the best news channel in the world.
Yes, of course.
So just to give you some examples of some fun upgrades that we did in launching this, and part of the reason why it took so long. So we're excited. It's finally come to fruition.
Yeah.
Some other exciting things. We put out a little bit of a teaser on our essential oils that are coming out soon, and some information on those. So hopefully, very, very soon, you'll be able to get your own. And we've been having so much fun playing around with those. So really looking forward to giving you a lot of information you won't find, the sources, the different countries, the different farms, you can learn about. This is kind of like the blended of oils, like we talked about the blended of coffee a few years ago. That this is like a precursor to that too, because a lot of the places that we source our oils from also are places we could source coffee from, and teas and lots of different things. So, really excited about supplements and different types of things that can come out of this in the near future. So, we've made significant progress on that in the last couple of weeks. So we're excited to talk about that. Now, I just wanted to point out one quick thing. I know that a lot of people have gotten emails from a United TV team. United TV on our side has nothing to do with the old United Network TV. I hear that they've been sending a lot of emails out to a lot of you. So just to kind of put this at rest, that is not us sending those emails out for a new and improved network or something, even though my face is still on there and they refuse to take off my face. But that's okay. Just letting you all know that I am nothing to do with those products, programs, people, or anything anymore
Me
at
neither.
the old network.
Me neither.
Yeah, we've definitely moved beyond all of that now, but I just wanted to address that because some emails are going out and I've gotten a couple of inquiries as to whether or not I sent them. No, I did not.
Yep. Yeah.
So I hope that clears that up for everyone. And with that, that's the World Situation Report today. A lot of information in a short period of time.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff. Oh, I guess we have, I'm hearing in my ear that we have not given the website for United TV.
Oh,
what's the website, Kim?
It's unitedtv.org. So O-R-G. So if you'd like to go there, you can get free trial, check it out, let us know what you think. And there is support as well, support emails, a support telegram you can reach out to. Those are all listed on the website.
I'm excited to try it out. My husband loves the sports section and would watch a lot of different games. My son too. And so when it went away for a little bit, we were like, what are we going to do? And so like every couple of weeks, my husband's like, so, is the new platform up yet? I'm like, no, not yet. You have to find another way to watch your sports. Yeah. And he's pretty excited about this.
Oh, good. Well, he'll be able to watch later on tonight.
Good. Yay. I'm excited.
Yay.
Test it out.
All right.
Well,
have a great weekend. Enjoy your holiday, even though you'll be with us.
I'll be with you guys on Monday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds great.
All right. See you then.
See you then, Sunny.
One to